Welcome to another golf video, and you've probably noticed, yes, they've arrived at last. We've got baseball caps and woolen hats. We'll be doing a giveaway with those very, very soon. Right, I'm going to get some sandpaper out and start cleaning up some of the mounts on the bumpers and things. Wire brush first. It's in pretty good condition. And most of this stuff's been dry stored, or as dry as you can get with a leaky garage. I'll need to grease it up. I should clean the latch as well. Let's move on to the fan. Four or 5 years ago I had to change the loom on this because I could never get hold of the 2-pin fan for some reason. So what I did was I changed it to a 3-pin fan and wired accordingly. This is in quite good nick too. Bit of surface rust. Yeah, this side's a bit worse. Still surface again though. When I've cleaned this up, what I'll do is put some cure rust on it. The fan here has been rubbing, so I'll also trim down this blade. Now I should be using proper sandpaper, proper gritted stuff, but this is what I've got, so I'll use it. Oh, interesting. That bit's going. So I'll try and bend it back, because that is what's warped this part of the blade. I bent it back. I'll just try and make it a bit smoother so anyone who puts a hand in the engine bay doesn't damage their hand. It's now on the outside, which means it will not foul on the fan blade. I have to clean up the fan blade as well. Now we've got the radiator. Yeah, it's a bit cobwebby. It's original Volkswagen radiator as well. As you can see by the emblem there. Right, I'm just going to get most of the surface rust and other bits of crap off here. I've been sensible on this. I've actually put all the bolts back in the radiator. Be very careful with the radiator, very easy to puncture. You can see some of the fins have got damage, but it doesn't leak, and that's what matters. See, these are the feet that sit in the cross member at the bottom. They're surrounded by rubber. There's a bit of rust on this edge, but I don't quite know what to do with it. Got rid of most of the rubbish off here. Found a Jubilee clip that fits now. Now I'm replacing it with these Jubilees. The ones that come on Volkswagen are a bit of a nightmare, to be honest. They clamp in with a pair of mole grips, whereas these are just a screwdriver. We're now nearly complete with the Mk2. It's quite staggering, isn't it? It's been a 3-year journey, but Christian's really aided with it. It's amazing how well he thinks outside the box. It's like me, I'm like, oh, what can I do to fix that? There isn't actually a part that does it, therefore I'll try and make something. So our combined knowledges really helped on this, and the fact that he had an electrical background and knew how to build cars and all types of things. And can weld. That's been a key factor with this. It's very solid, apart from the places where it's not. I know that sounds a bit strange, but it's true. For example, battery tray, a weak point on one of these. These bits are solid, which is good. And there's no rot inside here, because if the channels get blocked and the bottom of the doors and sills and all that, that's why you get rot. So it's a good idea to clean out all the channels and things on a Mark II Golf. Chassis legs are solid, floor's solid. Basically the whole chassis is solid. But back in the day it's been wax oiled, so that has really protected it. A lot of people have clean engine bays now, but because of cars back then, they used to have wax oil, and that has protected everything so much. For example, this chassis leg especially. That one started to go in rack and ruin because of the battery tray and the water ingress kicking up from underneath, landing in the battery tray and sitting there and just rotting. It's amazing the kind of things that you learn about the Mark II Golf when you have to strip one down and rebuild it because either the engine's gone or it needs bodywork. Beautiful car, well loved. Can't wait to see what this engine does. I'm going to crack on with cleaning up the rest of the parts and get everything so it can just all fit back together. Quite a substantial bumper on a 16 valve. It's the big bumper model, so 90 spec. And as you can see, it's got the fog lamps in, and these are smoked. Has the big indicators in it as well. Right, let's get this bumper out, start cleaning it up. There's some surface rust here, which we'll remove with a wire brush. Here's the bonnet. It's a bit of a clean up. Nice and solid. Now the one modification when you go for an ABF is you have to remove this, otherwise it fouls on the engine block, because the engine block is 1 centimetre higher. This is the clip that fits in there, so that then holds the bumper in place. Remove that and push in the clips, or the iron will separate from the plastic. There we go. So I've separated the irons so I can clean it up now. As you can see, it's not straight either, so I'm going to have to give it a bit of a bang out. Okay, this appears to not want to play ball. I can't do much more damage, so I'm going to try and do it this way. Yeah, better. Certainly getting straighter. At the same time, I can clean up the plastic here as well. Get rid of any of the cobwebs, that kind of thing. I also need to find another one of these because it was only held on by one. I now need to jet wash this. I'll jet wash all the other parts as well. But this needs blasting out. It's full of leaves, foliage, cobwebs, you name it. Right, time to jet wash. We've got various bits of Mark II sat here. And we're pressured. Maybe pressurized. So I'm just going to blast off most of the mud, the corrosion, any loose rust. So I'm just going to give them a quick jet wash now. I know there's fog lamps on there, but what I'll do is I'll dry those out, get rid of all the rain anyway, but they should be sealed quite well anyway. Right, I'm going to be very careful with blasting off some cobwebs on the radiator now.
Stop! We're talking fruit bats and orangutans. Shout out if anyone gets the movie reference.
Right, okay. Looking a lot better now. Now, it's the big bumper. This is just the outer shell. That's the iron that runs through it. And then you've got the slam panel to the right hand side. So if Annabelle pans along, you'll see what these parts are. And that was a bit of a dance for you. You've got the slam panel to the right hand side. That's where you affix your headlamps. You also put the grille on there. And that's the horn there as well. So that'll need connecting when we put this back together. You've then got the outer casing for the bumper. This is a big bumper model, so 90 spec. Fog lamps sit in there. These are the fog lamps. This is the iron that runs through it. Right, we'll give this a quick jet wash. Oops. Let's put it on there. You can probably see all the sticky stuff that's on the plate here. That's because I had German plates, but I got stopped a couple of times. And they said, no more German plates.
9.
One thing to note is, looks like this bumper's been resprayed, so maybe the guy, that would actually explain the dint in the iron over there. Because look, this was originally red. And there you have it, we've jet washed some of the parts now. It's amazing how much stuff came out of the inside of that bumper, and the fact it had some red bits is quite weird, because it means that even though we've had the car 13 years, whoever had it previously must have damaged the bumper, but for some reason didn't replace the bumper, just got it resprayed, because the iron, as I mentioned inside, has a clear dint in it where it's gone eh. So there you go. We're slowly and steadily getting there with putting the Mark II back on the road. Christian is going to be coming down and we'll be doing the rest of the engine work. I've got to put the cooling system back together. That's why I was cleaning up the radiator ready. I've got all the new belts. I've got hoses over there.
And bolts are on the way.
Yeah, the bolts. Very important point, that actually. When we were taking out the drive shafts, one of the bolts rounded off, so we've ordered 2 OEM Volkswagen bolts. I don't quite know how OEM you can get with a bolt, but it says Volkswagen Audi part on it, so that's all good. And I've ordered 2 of those in case we manage to round another one, but the rest are all perfectly fine.
Look at that.
Right, wait a minute.
Check out that dint.
I was going to say, you can see I've knocked this out with the lump hammer the other day. It's buckled.
Battle scars.
Exactly.
Older cars have war wounds.
Yeah, but this wouldn't have been that old when it had that war wound.
No, probably not.
Yeah. So this is the slam panel for Mark II. You can get, I think it's 3 types of slam panel. This is the one for the round headlamps, for either the single headlamp or the double headlamp. Then you can get a Jetta one. You can also get a rally one as well. And there's a horn.
Beep.
Mk2.
Excellent.
It's in relatively good shape. There's a bit of surface corrosion, as you can see here. So we'll dry that off, sand it down a bit more, and then rust treat it, and then maybe spray it up